Hey y'all, welcome back to the So Wavy Life podcast, formerly known as the So Wavy podcast. I am your host, Denny, and today, y'all, I have a very special episode. If you are a returning listener, then you know I have not posted on my YouTube in about a month any visuals with the podcast, anything with the podcast, and then I haven't posted an audio episode in about 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm back now, y'all. It's been so much going on in hip hop right now. I just had to come back and put my 2 cents on in. So that is what I'm going to do. So this is going to be a bonus episode, and my regular episodes will be back this week. So you're gonna hear this on Monday, and then my regular episodes are gonna come back on Wednesday. I did do a name change, and if you're watching me, you can see a set change. This set change, I'm still working on it, but this is what we got so far. And yeah, y'all, I'm so excited to just do this episode, y'all. I have not recorded in like a very long time. Anything. So I'm ready to get into it, y'all. Really, really get into it and put my 2 cents in. And y'all, I have notes because it's been so much going on and I've had to update these notes like 4 or 5 times since. So as y'all know, if you've been living under a rock or if you're just not interested, Kendrick Lamar and Drake have been going at it. And I'm just gonna kind of break down what's been going on so far and just my thoughts on everything, y'all. I have like this long list of notes. I don't even know if I can see that. That I'm going to go through. But before you start listening to this episode, make sure you are subscribed or following the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to me on. If you are interested in seeing the visuals for this podcast or any other content that I have, you can head over to Denny Price TV and you'll find the podcast visuals and some other stuff. Also, y'all, special announcement. I am coming out with a website for the podcast, which you will be able to find the visual episodes of the podcast, the audio episodes of the podcast, as well as a blog, because I'm gonna start writing some stuff for y'all. So that is coming soon. I'll let y'all know when that comes. And also, y'all expect some changes to the regular episodes of the podcast. I have just changed up a lot of things, but it's still the same, just a few changes. So yeah, since all the formalities are out of the way, y'all, we gonna get into it, y'all. We gonna get into it. So, as y'all know, like I said, Drake and Kendrick are beefing right now, y'all. And when I tell y'all, it's been like a crazy just week, especially like honestly, if you're like a really like big hip hop fan, if you're like a hip hop purist, or if you're just like a person that just like music in general, or if you're just you listen to Drake, you listen to Kendrick, or you might not listen to either or, but you just everybody is like into this right now. Like this is just everything. It's taking over everything. Cause y'all right now, JT and Sukiana are beefing. Everybody caring about that right now. It's so much other stuff that's going on in the background, but this is the main focus. So I want to kind of take this analysis in a different approach. I'm not gonna break down every um lyric in all of this songs because it's been too many and we'll be here for hours. But I am going to kind of give some background on Drake and Kendrick as far as their connection and where I think the beef started and kind of all that. And then I'm gonna give my opinion on the songs that have been released so far and who I think is winning or how I think it's gonna end. So I want to start with the background on Drake and Kendrick and them kind of as artists. So if you are like in my age group, which I'm in my mid 20s, actually, am I still? Yeah, I'm 20. I'm ready to be 27. So I'm kind of in my mid to late 20s right now. So if you are in your mid to late 20s, then you basically kind of grew up with uh Drake and Kendrick. Like I remember when, you know, Drake's just started popping off. I remember when Kendrick had just started popping off. So I've been following their career and a part of, their career since the beginning pretty much. Um and as I told y'all in a couple podcasts ago, like I do not consider myself a stan or like a super fan of any artist to like an extreme level that's just like whatever, whatever. But I did tell y'all I have a handful of artists that I just will just probably always love and I just admire. And I told y'all Kendrick is one of those for me. He's actually my favorite rapper ever. And I just have always loved Kendrick's style. Like I just love people that are artsy and creative. Like that's who I am. So I've always loved Kendrick, but I also, of course, I like Drake's music as well. Not his newer stuff, but definitely his older stuff. Like I grew up with both of them. Like that's my music. That's why him, J. Cole, and Kendrick. J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake are considered the big three, especially of this generation, because of the impact and everything they've done. And it's been over 10 plus years. I've literally been listening to them for 10 plus years. Like that's crazy to even think about. Um, but yeah, so y'all know when Future and Metro announced their album, it was called "We Don't Trust You." So everybody kind of figured like it was something about Drake, because if you've been following music or you know music for real, you would know that Drake and Future have been a little off the past like year or two. And in the episode where I talked about when like that song came out, I was talking about how I had heard just from all the stuff I have consumed that it might have had something to do with a girl, obviously, but also it might have had something to do with a promise not being kept on Drake's end regarding like a future project. And something with like the 21 Savage project that Drake did, and it was just like a lot of ins and outs. So when they came out with their album announcement called "We Don't Trust You," that's when the conversation started to pop and happen about, oh, like Drake and Metro, Future and Metro like not messing with Drake and just all this. Once the album came out and everybody heard like that, everybody was like, oh my gosh, Kendrick just did J. Cole and Drake, and it was this whole thing. And y'all know how Black Twitter is gonna listen. They're gonna pick it up, take it, and the rest is history. So after like that, y'all, if you haven't listened to like that, you should, because if you're listening to this podcast, that means you're into music and you're a hip-hop head and you're a hip-hop person, so that you should know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. And one of the things that stuck out the most that people kind of are taking away is like when he was like forget the big three, it's just big me. So that's kind of like, you know and after that, J. Cole decided to come out with a song on his not mixtape, and he basically took some shots at Kendrick, but then he later, as we know, apologized and took the song down. Like I told y'all, I do not personally feel like J. Cole was the intended target, and I believe he was a smart man for not involving himself in this beef, because it's really not about him. It's about Kendrick's disdain. Is that the right word? Disdain? I don't know. Just his level of just he don't like Drake for real, like for real. Like he does not like Drake. So like I told y'all a couple episodes ago, y'all can go listen. I don't ever think that the intended target was J. Cole. I don't think that J. Cole, honestly, rapping wise, I feel like obviously he's good too, so he's can keep up. But the way that it's going now, I just don't know where he would fit in this, and I feel like it would have did him more harm if he was just jumped into it. Honestly, and I told y'all in that podcast, I was like, I believe him and Kendrick had a conversation, and the more this beef continues to grow, I believe him and Kendrick had a conversation, and Kendrick basically told J. Cole, in my opinion, what I think, allegedly, we don't know what was said, but I feel that he was like, hey, listen, this is not about you. I ain't got no smoke with you. We like cool for real. It's about that other one. And I feel like Kendrick might have shared information with him, or might have, said something, and J. Cole was like, I don't want no problems. I don't want to be in it at all. Um so from that was a couple weeks ago. From that, everybody was waiting. Is Drake gonna respond? Is Drake gonna respond? Is Drake gonna respond? Y'all know he is an internet guy, so he's gonna always do the memes. He's always gonna just, do all that stuff. Then here comes Rick Ross. But y'all know, in the midst of the that record, once that was released and it was popping and it was doing what it's supposed to do. And by the way, the record was number one for like 3 or 4 weeks. Um, Rick Ross unfollowed Drake, and then I think Nab unfollowed Drake, and you kind of seen a shift like of people like unfollowing Drake, and it caught everybody off guard because everybody's like, "What is going on?" And in my opinion, I feel like the Like That record was just like a spark that let people to, I guess, express themselves or how they feel about Drake. Um, I don't think some people say they think it was planned. I don't know. Planned, maybe like the like that song, but I don't think it was planned on how this was gonna go for real, for real. At first, there is a level of calculation with this whole thing, I do think, but all these other people, did not expect all these other people to kind of jump in and kind of just express themselves and how they feel about Drake. But I believe that Drake has recently done something that has made people angry. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But he did something. He done made people angry. So now people are coming for him. Like simply coming for him. So after the unfollowing, all that stuff, and then we have Rick Ross come out with his song. What's it called? Champagne. Let me see. What was Rick Ross' song called, y'all? Champagne something. Champagne problems. Champagne moments. Which I liked it. It was really good. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was really good. I feel like sometimes people be like honestly truly forgetting that some of these people that you might not, especially the younger like the younger people, you might not think is popping for real or like that really not that good, but these rappers for real, and they've been around for a long time, and just because they're not as popping right now as they were, that does not take away from their ability. Because I was looking and a lot of people were shocked at how good Rick Ross's song was, and I was like, y'all, this is Rick Ross, what y'all talking about? Like, have y'all never listened to a Rick Ross song? Like, he's good. Like, I mean, obvious he had to have some level of, well, I ain't gonna, I do think there is some level of talent that is needed. Obviously, some people you can kind of, some things can be manufactured and tailored, and yeah, but for the most part, you have to have some sort of talent to get certain places. Sometime, most of the time. So I'm like, it's Rick Ross. So that was really, really good. It was really out of left field though, but it was good nonetheless. So it was like, what's T? So I believe after Champagne Moments, I think then Drake released Push Ups. I don't know if it was before or after. I don't know the timeline, but I do know that Push Ups was first like a leak, and people were confused if it was AI or if it was real. They didn't know what was going on, and I didn't either because it was just like out there. But then after like some days, he basically claimed it, and then now you can stream it. Um, so everybody was confused for a while. So Drake came out with Push Ups, and we are gonna get into some of his lyrics on Push Ups. Um, so in the song, basically, he taking shots at everybody that's had been taking shots at him. Since the whole like that thing had came out, pretty much. So he's just going, 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 going. Like I said, people liked the record, but at first people were very confused to if this was AI. I was confused. I was like, it ain't real. It ain't real. I don't know. I don't know. But it turns out it was. It was real. I don't think in this battle, to be honest with you, I don't. This battle is a bit different for me because of who it is. We know that Drake can rap. He's talented. Like you can't take that away from him. You can't take away his ability to make songs and all the things that he does. But you also can't take away all that Kendrick has done as well because he's a great artist also. So it's hard to kind of be like it's this is not like some of the other beefs in my opinion. It's really not because after everything that transpired, but it's this is multi-layered. This is a lot going on. So basically in this song, he is just kind of going at people, but I'm just gonna kind of focus more on what he said about Kendrick instead of other people. Cause honestly, at this point, the other people are irrelevant. And he did also this these same people in his other song that we'll talk about. So basically, he is just calling Kendrick short. So when I first initially listened to this, I was like, that's all you got, Drake? But people were like, "Oh, like this is like his song he did before he like really went in on Meek Mill's like Charged Up." Like, "Oh, this is just light, this is light, this is light." I was like, "Okay," because he all he said was, that Kendrick was short. So he was like, "Pip squeak, pipe down." And then kind of like the hook of the song is says, um, "Drop him, give him 50," and he is kind of alluding to Kendrick's splits with his with Top Dog. I know Kendrick was signed to TDE forever until now, but just like that's that money contract talk that most people don't really care about. But he goes on to say, like your label boy, you in a scope right now, and you're gonna feel the aftermath of what I write down. I'm at the I'm ooh, I gotta get together, y'all. I'm at the top of the mountain, so you tight now. Just to have this talk, I had to hike down. Big difference between Mike then and Mike now. Y'all know they bringing the Prince and Michael Jackson comparison into it, which I think I talked about that a little bit in the previous episode. So yeah, he's just calling him short basically, and then he told Metro to shut up and make some drums. So that line got like people caught on to that line about Metro, and yeah, he just keep calling Kendrick short, and I think he said how you a big stepper with a seven size man's on. So when I first listened to it, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I just was kind of like, okay. Like I think for me, I feel like if you win a battle, especially with someone like Kendrick, I'm expecting more because I know Kendrick's ability and I know what he's capable. Like I've listened to Kendrick so long and so much that I'm like, you're gonna have to come harder. From the get go, I'm like, you're gonna have to come harder. This is not Meek Mill. This is not all these other people. This is Kendrick Lamar. Like, I'm like convinced there's about a handful of artists that I feel like actually truly have always cared about their artistry and cared about all the details when it comes to their music and cared about all the elements when it comes to their music. And for me, Kendrick is one of them. So I was like, come on, Drake, you gotta come harder, you gotta come harder. Even though I thought Drake could have came harder, a lot of people liked it and it was not a bad song at all. It was a pretty good song. It was like I said, it was just a whole thing surrounding it. People didn't know if it was real, if it was not, if it was AI. Nobody knew. It finally came out officially. I think it was on YouTube first, and then you could stream it. So I was like, okay, all right, we gonna see. So after that, Kendrick still ain't said nothing. Rick Ross is in the midst of all this. Rick Ross is just um, trolling Drake, calling him white boy, saying Drake got a BBL. Like if you go listen to Champagne Moments, you'll kind of hear all the things that Ross said. Like I said, I'm focused on Kendrick and Drake, but it's so many elements and layers to it. So I did like Champagne Moments, and I actually like Champagne Moments more than Push Ups. And I was just like, how in what world do we live in where Rick Ross is, in my opinion, made a better song than Drake's? That's crazy to me. Even though I know Rick Ross is still, I was like, this is crazy. So from then I was like, this is gonna be interesting. Then Drake comes back again with Tailor Made, which I don't believe you can listen to that now. It's been taken down because he used AI in the song, and he basically used a Tupac AI and a Snoop Dogg AI, and he kind of used that to kind of basically troll Kendrick because y'all know Snoop's from the West Coast. Tupac is that he wasn't born in the West Coast, but y'all if y'all know Tupac and you know his story and all the ins and outs, he's West Coast. So that was intended to troll him, and people love that one. He posted that on his Instagram. I still was like, okay, it's Drake. Like I know what Drake can do, but I wanted more from him. I wanted something else. Like you're not going up against just somebody that's just regular. Like you're not. This is not. Meek Mill, like, and no shade to Meek Mill, but this is not Meek Mill. Like, I wanted something more, and I guess my expectations are high, and I'm just like, okay. And like me personally, I don't know how if y'all feel it. Like, it just didn't move me much. And I'm like a person that I kind of go off on, like, how does the song make me feel? What does it make me think? What do I think of, the lyrics? And I try hard to listen to what is said. And obviously, of course, he has the metaphors and the entendres and all that good stuff. Like, of course, we're not talking about that. And it's like competing with like that is really, really hard to do in the first place because that song is everywhere. And like I said, at this time it was still number one when I think he released his two disses. So it was just like, okay, I think that's also another thing. Like, we're comparing it to like that, even though like that wasn't a full diss record for, well, it is, it's a diss album, but y'all know what I mean. So people was loving that, and people was like, "Oh, Drake won, Drake won, Drake won." They was like, Kendrick is not gonna respond right away. Y'all know it's. They was like, "Oh, it's gonna take Kendrick a while." Woo, 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 woo. I think what 2 weeks went by, nothing. Then in the midst of all this, a cease and desist was sent for Drake to take down Taylor Made because it used AI, Tupac's AI voice and Tupac's estate, like sent him a cease and desist, and then freaking people were alluding to, they think that Kendrick like was behind that and all that stuff. It was just so much talk going on, and still Kendrick hadn't responded yet. So it's so much talk. People like Drake is up, he won, he got it. Ooh, people like, oh, I don't know if Kendrick's gonna respond. He might respond months from now. All this whole time, I'm just like, I ain't gonna lie to you. At first, I was like, I don't know what Kendrick's gonna do, but he's gonna have to come with it because Drake is like the golden child when it comes to hip hop for the last 15 years, pretty much. And when I say the golden child, it's like, really, to be honest with you, Drake can't do no wrong in certain people's eyes. In certain people's eyes, Drake is above critique. In certain people's eyes, everything Drake does is great. Me personally, I've never looked at him like that. Because I don't look at anybody like that. Everybody can be critiqued. Everybody has things they can work on. Everybody can, just work on stuff in different areas. But me personally, I kind of have stopped listening to Drake, to be honest with you. And it's because the music for me hasn't been the same since like 2018, 17. It's still good music. People love it. He still got hits. He still, all that is true. But for me, I'm just not into it like I used to be honest with you. So I kind of have tuned Drake out to a certain extent. So I haven't really been into much of it. I still listen to the old stuff, obviously, but I haven't really been into much of it. And then I don't know if it's just me, but I had started seeing a lot of weird things with Drake and how he moved and the way he was treating certain people and this some of the things he did. So I just was kind of like, whatever. Like, I'm not really pressed about like that. Like, I'm like, okay, I don't really mess with his new stuff like that. But some songs do stick out to me. Some songs I do like. I'm like, okay, cool. But as like a whole, how I used to feel about him, I don't feel about him anymore. And that's just before the beef. And I don't know what I talked about this on the podcast, but I definitely talked about it in my personal life. So I'm just like, whatever, whatever. So everybody's talking about what Kendrick gonna do, what Kendrick gonna do, what Kendrick gonna do. And Kendrick did what needed to be done. We're just sitting, chilling, Twitter going upward. Listen, I don't even like to be on Twitter anymore like I used to when I was younger because I just feel like sometimes Twitter can be very toxic and it can just be a lot. But I have been back on Twitter, honestly, for the past couple of months, especially since I started the podcast, because everything go down on Twitter. So Twitter is like, Kendrick released, Kendrick released, Kendrick released. Y'all, we have Euphoria. So if you're like one of those people that super want a breakdown for everything, there's so many YouTube videos of people breaking it down. But the title of it is Euphoria, and if y'all don't know, y'all know the show Euphoria on HBO. Drake is an executive producer, I believe. So people were pointing that out. And then if you see the album cover, which I would try to, I keep saying album cover. The song that's the single cover of the song, I'll put it right here. It says, it has a definition of euphoria, and it says a feeling of well being, and then it gives like an example, and it says apparently it is the change in the mood, the feeling of euphoria, and reduced anxiety that prompts people to start using this dangerous drug. And then it says they had almost a week to recover from the euphoria of Tuesday's series winning victory. So people were kind of like pointing that out. I'm like, okay. Once we get into it, y'all, listen. The way that it starts off, at first I was like, Kendrick, I know you're not gonna come at this man on like some soulful stuff. You can't be. You can't be. I know this is your vibe, but I was like, no. So it starts off. I think it's a sample. I forgot what the sample is, but it says the famous actor we once knew is looking paranoid and now spiraling. You're moving just like a degenerate. Every antic is feeling distasteful. I said, right out the gate. Um, then he says, I calculate you're not as calculated. I can even predict your angle. So it just keeps going. He calls him a manipulator. He said he a scam artist. He said he ain't never wore FUBU in his life. Only Tommy Hilfiger. He said Tommy Hilfiger stood out, but FUBU never had been in your collection. He said, I make music that electrify them. You make music that pacify them. And y'all, he just goes on and on and on. And from this, Kendrick said quite a bit. Kendrick basically said, you don't take care of your son. You don't know nothing about taking care of your son. He said, you don't need to teach him how to pray. You don't teach him the tools of life. That right there, for me, that part, I'm like, when you insult, you have to be a parent to understand how it makes a person feel when you insult their parenting. I'm a parent, so I like, and I'm a new parent. I have a toddler, but I'm saying like when people insult your parenting, and if you're a parent, like for real, and you take pride in being a parent, that right there can cut somebody deep. You telling him that you don't know nothing about teaching your child how to pray or teaching them the tools of life. What? I feel like if you're not a parent, you're not gonna really understand the depth of that right there, because that for me stood out the most for me because I'm a parent myself. I was like, I cannot imagine somebody is dissing you, talking to you, telling you how bad of a parent you are, telling you you don't know nothing about being a parent for real. And basically he was like, I'm a dad for real and you are not. Like that is so disrespectful. Like, and that's just one part of the song, y'all. Like, he goes on and on. He was like, dementia was running your family. Oh my gosh. He said his daddy a killer. He want to be a junior. They must have forgot the stuff that they've done. Listen, it's so y'all. It's so much. Like it is so much, and like the breakdown of the song is crazy. Like you have to listen to this song multiple times. I have listened to this so much, and I've added it to my playlist because it is so good. This is the type of stuff I wanted Drake to do. Like you is focused on everybody else, and you need to focus on Kendrick, and that is the critique that a lot of people had for basically Drake's response to this. So y'all, this song was amazing, just amazing. I think what 3 beat changes, like it was just honestly chef's kiss. I love it. And then J. Cole just keep getting stressed. He's mentioned in almost every diss briefly, but I think it's so funny because it's like I don't know. So then he was like, yeah, basically he was like Cole and Aubrey. Like when he said Cole and Aubrey, I really sat and thought about that, and I listened to it like so many times at this point. But I was like, Cole and Aubrey, Cole and Aubrey. So y'all know, obviously, J. Cole's real name is not Cole. His full name is Jermaine, but Kendrick is using his rapper name, right? Cole. But he didn't use Drake's rapper name. He used Drake's first name, Aubrey. So to me, that is layered right there because I'm like, okay, you know Cole is Cole. Like Cole is who he's basically. I feel like he's saying Cole is who he say he is, but you this Drake character, this ain't really who you is. But he's talking to Aubrey. He ain't worried about Drake. He's talking to Aubrey. That is insulting. I don't care what nobody say. It's just it's so much in this song. It'd take you forever to really break it down. But I just love the way that he did this song. And I was like, this is what I'm talking about. After the song came out, I had seen a lot of people's perspectives change a little bit on how they felt about Kendrick. And to my knowledge, to my surprise, I found out from this whole thing that people did not like Kendrick as much as I thought people did. I do. And they think that his music is boring and they think that it's not that. And I'm just like, are y'all serious? What? But I'm a Kendrick fan, so I'm like, okay, okay. But I still was kind of like, I had never heard people this much say how much they really didn't like Kendrick and how they felt like he was boring. He don't release consistently, all of that stuff. So I'm just like, okay, fair. I love him still. I don't care. Not boring to me. So this song really kind of changed it. For me, I felt like after this song, Kendrick was up. I felt like Euphoria was better than Drake's two songs. And like I said, Drake is trying to go at everybody when I feel like he knows all the other people that he's talking about. He can he'll probably win those battles, honestly, more so on just public opinion and what the general public thinks because people love Drake. Like Drake's fan base is huge. Like it's Drake. So you'll win there, but Kendrick is really a MC for real, and he rap for real. And that's who you need to focus on, and not everybody else. You can get them later; they can catch a few strays, but you need to focus solely on Kendrick for real. Like really go in. So yeah, that Cole and Aubrey thing really stuck out to me because I'm like, this man not even addressing you as Drake, what the world would know you as. He's calling you Aubrey, so he's talking to you. Like what did Party say? And when he was in that song, he was dissing Meg. He was like, I'm not talking to Meg the Stallion. I'm talking to Meg the person. That's the same vibe that line gives me. It's like I'm not talking to this persona that you put on or this person that the world sees you as. I'm talking to the person that I know. So I thought that was interesting. But this song is just so good. Like, oh, I love it so much, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. It was so good. And he's like, how many more black features till you finally feel like you're black enough? I was like, Lord, you're insulting this man's parenting. You insulted this man's identity, his like blackness. Like you're insulting this man at so many levels. And you know it takes a true lyricist and a true person that knows how to put words together for real to really attack somebody like this. This song was a like I don't know. I don't know. Y'all, it's just it's more than saying, "Oh, you're short. You're this, you're this, you're this, you're this." This man is you know how insulting this is to you done insulted this man's character. You done insulted this man's identity, his blackness. You done told this man the dementia running his family. That's crazy. I was like, Kendrick, y'all. Then it just keeps going and keeps going. Like he telling him he don't need to say the N word no more. He hated it when he said the N word. Like it's so much. Like this song was just so full. I had to listen to it a couple of times, and my mouth was like the whole time I listened to it because it just kept getting better and better and better and better, and it was catchy. Like parts of this was really, really catchy. And I think that caught people off guard because I don't, like I told y'all, this is my first time ever hearing that people thought that Kendrick was born. Like, let me know if y'all like felt the same way. Like, did y'all like think Kendrick was born? Like, is y'all not like into his music for real? Like, what? Because this is my first time hearing it. So I'm just like, of course, I didn't think people didn't love Kendrick, but I'm like, Kendrick is like that, like for real. Like, Kendrick is for real. Like, I don't, what y'all talking about? Cause even though I know people don't like the list that Billboard put out, I still refer to it when I'm having arguments or debates with people or just my talking points. If you go back to that list, Kendrick was what, number 2 on that list, and Drake was what, number 8, number 7, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm like, right there it shows y'all, you know, you know, I don't think that Drake can rap better than Kendrick. I just think that Drake, just as far as mainstream commercial success and all the things like that, and he just knows how Drake knows how to make hits. He knows how to make songs that people are going to vibe to, like, and he is versatile. So that is also kind of thing that helps him the most. But he does have a stain on him with the ghostwriter allegations that everybody, is saying. And I mean, I think, what was it, Push Ups? I believe it had 2 other writers on there as well. So that kind of really doesn't work in his favor. But he don't, I mean, it's Drake. Since that whole thing with him and Meek Mill, saying that he got ghostwriters, like, people have been looking at him sideways, Drake sideways, when it comes to stuff, but not to the point where people are like over it or canceling him or nothing like that. So yeah, my opinion, Euphoria was great. Like, it's so much in there to dissect and to take out. Like, you would have to spend some time on that. What do y'all think about Euphoria? Did you like it? Did you not? Do you think that Euphoria was better than Push Ups or Tailor Made? I do. I still think that Drake's songs are good and they were good. I just wanted more from him, like, for real. So after Euphoria comes out, this came out. Let me see. Let me see if it has like the date on here. And it was put out. It came out in this week sometime. So everybody's still kind of debating like what they think. Do they think that Drake is still up? Do they think Kendrick is still up? Yada yada yada. Next thing we know, people on Twitter again like, oh, Kendrick dropped again. Kendrick dropped again. Kendrick dropped again. And we're like, Kendrick did what? Like, huh? Kendrick posted on his Instagram, so kind of similar to what Drake did when he posted the Taylor Made freestyle on Instagram. Kendrick posted the 616 in LA on his Instagram, which I will try to put the image up here so y'all can see. So yeah, it's like it was super super early for the West Coast, and for us on the East Coast, it was still in the morning, but it was like it won't as super early like that. No, I think it might have been afternoon here, like 12. It was earlier in the day. Um, so that one also just amazing and good. Like, it's just, I'm just so shocked still, and it's just crazy. Like, that one was really good too. Like, not J Cole. Kendrick is dissecting this man to the point where I feel bad for him. I feel bad for Drake because what do you do at this point? To be honest, like, what do you do? Drake needs to figure it out because Kendrick on fire. Some folks you cannot play with. Like, some people be thinking that you can kind of think that you can walk all over people and think that you can do all these things to people when you really can't. You gotta pick and choose. So after the 616, people are still debating. Okay, what? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Boom. We chilling. We sitting down. Drake releases his song "Family Matters." So he has a video to that song as well. So everybody running to see what did Drake say. We waiting on his response. So in the video, Drake has the Good Kid, Mad City. If you look at Kendrick's album cover for Good Kid, Mad City, it's a van on there. So he got that van, the same type of van. Um, and in the video, like he's taking it. I don't know where they're going, y'all. I didn't even. I looked at the video, but I was on it like really really early, like as soon as it released. Um, so yeah, so I'm listening to the song really more than the video, and it starts off. He started going. I'm like, okay, all right, all right. And yeah, cool, cool, cool. Then he says, drop a 50 bag for the mob and the spot. Okay, okay, okay. He doing that. He doing that. He talking about some, you know who really Banker said. He talking about YG. He said Chuck T. He even mentioned CB, Chris Brown, and Cole is getting another straight. I know J. Cole is like, I'm not even in this, and for some reason, I'm still getting mentioned. Like, this is like the third time that Cole's name has been brought up, and he not even in it. Like, it's so funny to me. He said Cole losing sleep on this. It ain't me. He said you better have some paperwork on that T, because basically Kendrick was basically calling Drake a pedo. I don't know what can be said, what cannot. So I'm gonna try to paraphrase some stuff. Basically he said he was a bad dad. Basically he said, he don't do nothing for the culture. He is a culture vulture, you know. He child Kendrick said so much. I can't even get to all of it. Like, he it's just a lot. So he kind of, like I said, he came for Kendrick's neck, like for real. I mean, for Drake's neck for real. So Drake has just been saying like, "Oh, this is some fake tea." Like, what? Then Drake drops a bomb. Well, before Drake drops the bomb, y'all. Before, because I'm reading the lyrics. Before Drake drops the bomb, he told um let's see. Let's go. Cause this is the part. He says, always rapping like you about to get the slaves freed. Now, when I heard this, I instantly was just, the mood just went this like this. I just turned down because I was like, what? Why would you say that? You don't gonna get some backlash for that, right? Because first of all, yes, Kendrick did insult your blackness and, just your identity, and he said some stuff. Okay, cool. Drake, I was really surprised that he said this, honestly. But y'all know that Kendrick is more of a conscious rapper, and he does things a little different. Styles completely night and day when it comes to him and Drake. So you saying he's rapping like he's about to get the slaves free literally plays into his point about how you feel about blackness, and when you use blackness when it's convenient for you. And I know that Drake is Canadian and he's not American. And if you are American, then slavery was a lot different places, but when it comes to black Americans and slavery, that is a very sensitive and touchy subject, and it is a lot of layers into that. And you, as a mixed man from Canada, telling a black man that he's rapping like he is freeing the slaves is crazy. It looks crazy, it sounds crazy, and you offended people when you said something like that. Because me, I was like, I know that this man is just not say that. Like, you're playing into what Kendrick just said about you. So I was definitely surprised with that one. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, he did said, what? You rapping like you freed the slaves? Like, I don't think that bar went over the way that Drake intended it to, because a lot of people are talking about that. That right there, I'm like, okay, not feeling that. Then he started just going in. He said, always, after he said always rapping like you about to get the slaves free, he's like, you just acting like an activist. It's make believe. Don't even go back to your hood and plant no money trees. Say you hate the girls I messed with, paraphrasing y'all, but what you really mean? He says, I've been with black and white and everything that's in between. You the black messiah, wifing up a mixed queen. And he said, and hit vanilla cream to help out with your self-esteem. Then he says on some Bobby, I want to know what Whitney need. All that puppy love was over in y'all late teens. Why you never hold your son and tell him say cheese? You would have left the kids out of this. We could have left the kids out of this. Don't blame me. You a dog and you know it. You just play sweet. Your baby mama captions always screaming, save me. You did her dirty all your life. You trying to make peace? I heard that one of them kids might be Dave Free. And then he says, don't make it Dave Freeze. And then he like jot it out. And then he says, cause if your GM is your BM secret BD, then this is all making plenty sense to me. And then he starts singing Rich Baby Daddy, the song he got with Sexy Red, and then he says, he adds Dave Free in there, and then yeah, he said these bars go over Kenny head no matter what they say. I know you like to keep it short, so let me paraphrase. Knew it was smoke when Abel hit us with the serenade. And then he just goes on and he said drop 50 back. Put them all in the spot. And then the next verse, he goes into talking to all the other people. So he takes some shots at ASAP Rocky, The Weeknd, Rick Ross, and Future, Metro, all that. Honey, when he was saying, I was like, oh my God, wait. I had to listen to it again because I was like, he said, what? So Drake is saying, Kendrick, one of your kids not even really your kids, for real. You don't do them for your community. You trying to get the slaves freed. Like, talking about this man's wife and talking about some. Is this the part? No, I think that's the last verse. So already I'm still stuck on rapping like get the slaves freed, but I'm taking in everything he's saying. So the verse in the middle is what kind of I got kind of distracted and bored because I'm expecting him to go at Kendrick solely and not really everybody else. And I know that everybody else is dissing him too and jumping in, but I feel like Drake is losing the he's losing what's important. The important target is Kendrick. Everybody else is just noise, and I feel like you're getting distracted and you're trying to get everybody. But in trying to get everybody, you're making your disses not as strong and as like weak when it comes to Kendrick. And I know Kendrick. I think it's the next diss song that I'm telling you that Kendrick dropped. Before this recent one, he alludes to the fact that Drake is calling around, paying people to try to get dirt on Kendrick, but coming back with barely nothing. But it seems like Kendrick is getting all the tea, like all of it. So yeah. So like I said, that verse, even though I was still on the you rapping like getting the slaves freed, I was like, but he was also okay, all right, okay. Then he goes into all other people. I was interested in that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, cause that's not what I came here for. I came here to see you go at Kendrick, not at everybody else. You can get everybody else later. Right now, focus on Kendrick. And the whole time, all this is going on, y'all. Rick Ross is trolling Drake, and it is so funny. Like he keep calling him white boy, and he's like, if y'all go to his Instagram, he's not stopping. He don't care. He don't care. Um. Okay. So, all right. After he goes in on everybody else, he starts back on Kendrick again for his last beat change. And he just talking. Then he's talking about some Ozempic got a side effect of jealousy, and doctors never told y'all. Yeah, so this is just him going in on the people again. Then yeah, I'm trying to find it. Keep going. He went in on ASAP Rocky and he mentioned 50. Like, stop mentioning Rihanna. I hate when he do that. Like, ugh, leave her alone. And contrary to what everybody else think, I likes ASAP Rocky. And y'all see his album. Can y'all see that? I think it's over my head, over there. Like that, to me, I was living for the album. Still do. It's a classic to me. And I like ASAP Rocky. He might not rap like everybody else, but he is him. And I like him and like his vibe. So not too much on him. Cause people is coming ASAP Rocky. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's okay. Okay. So um basically he talked about some, he said K Dot, your music basically only hitting when Baby Keem put his pen to it. Y'all know Baby Keem is Kendrick's cousin, I believe. I think they're cousins. Yeah, they're cousins. They're related, I believe. Something like that. Then he was like, Ross calling me a white boy. It's got a little ring to it. So I was like, okay, you can. That's a good tactic to kind of the insults that people are spewing at you, kind of take them in and use them to your advantage. I get that. So, somebody he said Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody go hand him a Grammy right now. Like, he said, "Where's your uncle at? Cause I want to talk to the man of the house." Because y'all know in Kendrick's last album, he was it the last one? I think so. Yeah, I think so. But he was just talking about how his aunt um transitioned and stuff. So people were like pointing out because when Drake was like, "I want to speak to the man of the house" and all that stuff, and um he said, "You want to take up for Pharrell, then come get his legacy out of my house." I said, "What?" Because when Kendrick on Euphoria, when Kendrick was like, whatever he said, something, you said something to Pharrell, I inherit the beef. So I was like, "What is the tea there?" And for me, what this beef kind of showed me was that Drake has done a lot of shisty things. In my opinion, from what I kind of how I'm looking at the bigger picture, he's done some shisty things to people within the industry. And I think that now people are speaking out, especially I feel like I know people say like, oh, when one person says something that everybody jumping in saying something. Sometimes y'all, as we know, as humans, as with a lot of other things, sometimes it takes one person to say something, giving other people the confidence to say something. But if you really been paying attention and really been looking, a lot of people ain't been messing with Drake for a very long time. And this thing between him and Kendrick ain't nothing that happened overnight. Like this is some history here, some years here, some stuff that has been going on for a very long time. And I feel like it just came to a head and now it's spewing over into now we getting the tea. We in the know. We trying to figure out what's going on because I just feel it. Like I feel like Drake had got to a point where he is at the top of the food chain. He don't need nobody else. He called the shots. He do this. He do this. And I think when you get to a certain level, sometimes some people take that and get a little bit cocky, and they start doing things. They start backstabbing people. They start doing some shicey stuff, which everybody is capable of doing. So yes, but I feel like the things that Drake has done to tons of people is starting to come back on him, and the way that he carries himself and his actions are coming back on him. So I feel like to some people it seems like he's getting bullied and beat up. But also when you're at the top like that, people know when you get sometimes when you most of the time people will say when you get to the top of something, you have a lot going on, like a lot that comes at you when you climb in the top. And sometimes you might have to kind of you're gonna do somebody wrong at some point in some manner. But sometimes you don't have to do people wrong the way that I feel like Drake has wronged certain people with different things. Like it's so many different theories out there about, like money related things, about like label related things, the things that he does, and just all the things surrounding him. So I feel like that plays a huge part into why people are coming out. Because to me, the biggest telltale sign for me is the people that you've been cool with even if I don't know how I feel, like how it is internally, obviously we don't know their personal life, but him and Future, to us it was like this, like they was like this albums together, all these things together, and all of a sudden they fell out. That was a little bit. I'm like side eyeing a little bit, and I'm like, what do you got with Pharrell? And I was like, shoot. At this point, I don't know, because now it's like you got issues with Pharrell, and what legacy is in his house? What is he talking? Do y'all know what that means? Is it awards? Is it something? I don't know, but like I don't know. Because Kendrick said, "I'm gonna inherit that beef, so don't come for him." And then I was sitting here thinking, I was like, "Darn, he don't mess with Pharrell. This is Drake. He don't mess with Pusha T. Obviously, him and Chris Brown. I don't really know what their relationship is like now. I knew they definitely wasn't cool, but I thought they got like cool to a certain extent. But I don't really know how that's going. But we just gonna add him to the list." And then Timbaland, I don't know how him and Drake are right now, but all these people from Virginia, because y'all know I'm from Virginia too, if y'all don't know. So I'm like, darn, do you not like people from Virginia? Because dang, Pharrell, Pusha T, Chris Brown, that's three people right there. It ain't that many people that's famous like that at that level that are from Virginia anyway. But the people that is, you got issues with them. Like, do you not like people from Virginia? Like, what is it? What is the tea? So during this beef, it's just been so many things that have been highlighted. Like Drake alluding to, Kendrick beating his wife, and his wife, their one of their kids not being Kendrick's. Like, it's so much, and I will say that is some tea. Like, I'm like, darn, like that's heavy. That's heavy. So this song comes out, and a lot of people are feeling it. Like, oh, Drake is back. Drake is doing this. Drake is doing that. I will say this one to me is better than the other ones he posted, but I still felt like he should have focused solely on Kendrick, to be honest with you, because Kendrick is coming at his neck so bad. All the other people, whatever. They say they little one too, but Kendrick is really coming for you. But he insulted your parents and Drake. Like, I don't know. Y'all, after this came out, people are digesting, people are like feeling it, people are, whoop. Here comes Kendrick. So Drake's song was called Family Matters. Kendrick's song, Meet the Grams. And this song, I said not even, I believe 15 minutes after Family Matters dropped, Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams. Twitter went crazy. And I was still up because I had just listened to the Drake thing. So I'm on Twitter. I'm looking to see, what everybody's saying, what they feeling, what a whoop. I had to I was like, I'm gonna listen to it again like later in the day, like in the morning, to really like pick out things. But I'm still stuck on rapping like you about to free the slaves. So okay. Then the song comes out. I'm like, oh my gosh. Girl, you go to YouTube. I said, Drake, I don't know what you can do now. I don't know. I don't know. Kendrick is talking. He didn't even start the song talking off to Drake. He started the song talking off to Drake's son Adonis. He said, basically, he said, your father is just not a good father. He's incapable of being a father. And he said, listen to this when you're 18. He said, you're going to be somebody. But your daddy, he ain't nobody. I said, oh my God. And he says, dear Sandra. I was like, not the mama, not Drake's mama. He said what he had to say with her. He says, dear Dennis. No, was it the dad next? Like I'm like, you're talking to this man's family members directly. And wait. Am I missing one? No. In the 616 in LA song, I forgot to mention, Kendrick alluded to basically Drake having some snakes in his camp. And people was like, Kendrick, what are you talking about? Like, what? When this came out, people was like, oh, it's definitely somebody there telling Kendrick. Because how in the world, I know it's ways in this, it's so much that can go into people finding out. But the fact that Kendrick knew that Drake was releasing and his title was Family Matters, and Kendrick's was Meet the Grams is crazy. Then the biggest bombshell, Kendrick dropped. Drake got an 11-year-old daughter. What? And when I was listening to it, I was like, I heard him say "girl, baby girl," and I was like, I was confused. I thought he was talking to a dancer again. I'm like, why is he calling this boy a girl? Then I had to go back and listen. He said that Drake got a daughter. I said, what? An 11-year-old daughter at that. Then he says all the other kids you got too. Boy, did I fall out. I'm like, I'm just trying to listen to Drake's record. I'm trying to dissect that, trying to figure out what he's saying here. And here comes Kendrick. I said, don't play with that boy. Don't play with that boy because what? And I just love that this whole thing is putting more eyes on how great Kendrick actually is and how much people should appreciate artists like Kendrick. You should appreciate all artists because all artists bring something different to the game, but artists in particular like Kendrick Lamar should be appreciated. Like, when I tell you I was sitting in the bed shocked. I'm like, what is really going on? Like, this cannot be real. This is not real. This is fake. And not Drake, Kendrick continues to just go in on Drake about, the pedo claims and people with his team and saying that he has a daughter, and, the whole Drake got a lipo, BBL, like all of those things. Cause Rick Ross alluded to that as well. So all of that. So people are still trying to digest that. That was 2 days ago. But no, about a day ago. So Kendrick had released 3 songs in less than a week. All right. We thinking, okay, what's gonna happen? What Drake gonna say? What Drake gonna say? I'm like, Drake, I don't know. I don't know. Then next thing you know, the next day, which is the same day, but in the daytime, yesterday, he released something else. I said, huh? Twitter going off. I said, he did what? He released Not Like Us. And this one is the one. This one is the one. Like, I'm adding this to my playlist right now. I've listened to this so many times on YouTube and looked at so many reactions, y'all. Like, this is crazy. Not Like Us. It's produced by DJ Mustard. And the beats, everything about the song. I have seen, if you go on TikTok, all you see is that Kendrick song playing. People crit walking. It's like so West Coast. Like, it's perfect. And people have always said like that Kendrick is boring. Like I told y'all, people be saying, and Kendrick can't make music, make hits, like make club music, like club bangers. He made one, y'all, and I kid you not, like how you release 3 songs for you release 4 songs in like a week. That's crazy. And then you basically did 3 in a day. Cause he released a 6:16 in the morning, then Meet the Grams like midnightish, and then he released the Not Like Us yesterday. Y'all go listen to it. It's, oh god, it's amazing. The beat is amazing. Y'all, and he goes in on Drake again, obviously. But it's the whole thing of the song, like people is outside for real and they is playing this. Like, I've seen it. DJ Mustard was at the club last night playing it. People playing it at pool parties. I seen some person, they had like their college spring festival thing yesterday, playing it. Now mind you, the song came out yesterday and people is playing it. Like, the beat is everything. Like, if you like that West Coast sound and you like West Coast music, that is exactly what it is. Like, it's so refreshing and good. And it's like he's beating Drake at his own game. I never thought that this was how this was gonna play out. I was a bit nervous for Kendrick in the beginning because I was like, because Drake is such a superstar and he's so big, And even though Kendrick is also a superstar too, like let's not get this twisted here. But Drake is obviously the bigger artist. He's bigger than most artists. So I was like, public opinion might not be on his side. The general public might not be on Kendrick's side, and Kendrick gonna have to come with it, which I knew that he was going to. I never thought that he was gonna respond as quickly as he did, and I never thought he was gonna respond with as many tracks as he did. Every track has a different feel. Every track is unique in its own, but this last one is what's gonna be playing for real. Yeah. And not to mention, for some reason, Kendrick's not for some reason, it's because I feel like the Kendrick's music has just been better than Drake's with everything that's been going on, because he's getting more views than Drake, more streams than Drake. Like, who even gets more streams and stuff than Drake? Most artists do not. Like, Drake is one of the biggest artists. So for Kendrick to do this is insane. And even now, Euphoria had what, a couple of days of tracking. It's on the Billboard Hot 100. I think it's at number like 11 or something. And Push Ups is like at number 17 or number 14. Like, Euphoria is up more than Push Ups. And then he released this one. Oh, this one's going up. For sure. This one's gonna be higher. I feel like it's gonna be charted way higher than Family Matters. Because the only thing that Kendrick released that you can stream on DSPs is Euphoria. This one, I think that's it. He didn't release 616 and he didn't release Meet the Grams on here. So, yeah. Listen, it's too good, y'all. It's too good. Like, everything about you, you forget it's a this song for real, for real. Like, I see so many dances. I've seen, like, if you're like Greek or into Greek life type stuff, D9, I've seen strolls for that. Um, like, it's going up, y'all, and it's just been a day. That's the thing. Definitely has some stick out lyrics, like it's like they not like us, they not like us. That's pretty catchy. And then when he says trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor, and he like uh drags out the minor. I was like, oh my god, some movies like that is very much Nicki Minaj coded, because y'all know, if y'all listen to Nicki Minaj, she does that similar thing too. It's like that. So I was like, oh my gosh. He said certified lover boy, certified pedophiles. I was like, jeez. I was like, and then he said, and party at the party playing with his nose now. I said, not party next door catching a stray. I love party next door, not party next door playing with his nose. I was like, Kendrick, what? Yo, and I tell y'all, I'm like, and then he says, did Cole foul? I don't know why you still pretending. I'm like, again, J. Cole catching another stray. J. Cole probably just like, I don't know. At this point, I'm just here. Um, yeah. He said the rabbit hole is still deep. I can go further. I promise. I was like, huh? He called this man Malibu Most Wanted. If y'all seen that movie Malibu Most Wanted, I forgot what's the actor's name. I forgot, but go look it up. Malibu Most Wanted, and he basically be acting like they black. So yeah, that's crazy. Then he even told LeBron to stay away from Drake. He told Steph Curry to stay away from Drake. I was like, not LeBron and Steph Curry in the song too. He told this man, stop talking about Serena. Period. I don't like when Drake did that either. Miss Serena. Like, he always be messy. And I feel like at first the messiness is like, okay, Drake, like, he being messy, he being petty. Everybody knows that Drake is petty, that he's messy, stuff like that. But it's like at some point it gets a little bit annoying and old and just like, okay, like, stop type thing. Um yeah. Then he said that Drake messed with Lil Wayne's girl while Lil Wayne was in jail. And then he got Lil Wayne, because he got Lil Wayne tattooed. And I was like, what? Then I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, when did Lil Wayne go to jail? And I'm sitting here thinking, and I found out Lil Wayne went to jail in like 2010 something 2010, maybe 11, something like that. And Drake was messing with, I don't know who the girl was, but it's true. Y'all, it's true. Because I literally just seen an interview on TikTok, and it was Lil Wayne. It was back during that time, and he was talking about that because people kept bringing it up, and he was talking about that. And look on his face, I'm like, Drake, no, you didn't. That is like your mentor, like that is your person. Like he brought you into this, and you did that out of all the people. I was like, wow, that to me, that might not have been new info to some, but it was definitely new info to me. So I'm just like, what? And the whole time the beat just amazing. So he's doing all this. And then he, like I said, he told um LeBron, stay away. Steph Curry, stay away. Cause if you align yourself with him, you going down too. I was like, Lord. And he was like, nail him to the cross. He walk around like Tizo. Y'all know Tizo touchdown on them nails. Then he having his hair in his outfits. I was like, he let the industry can hate me. He do not care about this injury stuff. And that's another part where I just feel like I just don't know what Drake can do, because you got somebody that doesn't care about the industry, doesn't care about the things that you care about as far as like the public perception, the numbers. I'm sure to a certain extent he does care, but not to the point where he's like that's his livelihood. Like he even talked about this. He was like, "You think my whole life is rap?" No. So I just think that it's hard to kind of compete with somebody that don't care. And I am a person that is a don't care type of person. Like that's me. There's a lot of things I just generally just don't care about. So you're not gonna hurt my feelings or get to me like that because I just don't really care. So he said, I don't even care about this industry stuff. I don't care about none of it. I don't care. Mm. I was like, what? Oh my gosh. And then he just keeps going on. He said, certified boogeyman. I'm the one that up the score with them. Mm. It's like, he said, say Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not go to cell block one. Lord. He just keeps going and going. And then, yeah, he just keeps going. And it's just the whole time the beat is just amazing. It's just such a good song. Like outside of the diss, and he just is trolling him so bad. And he says they not like us. He said, "Homie still double down, calling us some slaves." And did sure did. I'm like, Joe, you played into his hands so bad, like rap like you freaked the slaves. I'm still over there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I know that there is a racial to a certain extent disconnect, and there's also a just Drake's not American disconnect there that I feel like people forget sometimes. So I have to kind of keep that in mind. But still, I feel like even if you're not from here, and even though you are mixed, you are around a lot of African Americans. You like have a lot of friends with African Americans and a lot of rappers. You be in America all the time. Like you gotta know that that was offensive, or that was like who was on your team? Cause that's crazy. I'm still over there. Like you freak the slaves is crazy. It's crazy. Because what? You know how heavy and how sensitive slavery is, especially to Black Americans, in the history here in America, and the history here with Black people in America is crazy. And then him, I do, even though I don't think people owe people anything, nobody owes you anything. People can do what they want to. I do feel like as someone that has some sort of status and you're at a certain point, there are certain things that you should, I feel like, do or try to do to help push your community forward. And it doesn't have to be the most drastic thing. It doesn't have to be outside on, protesting, or it's just things that you can do. But he doesn't even do that. Um, so yeah, I don't know, y'all. It's hard, and it really just makes you look at things differently. For me, it definitely did. And I even looked at not Kendrick differently, but when Drake was talking about like the beating on your wife part, I'm just like, Kendrick, you know? But people are saying that I've never heard of that personally. A lot of people say they haven't, so they don't really think that's true. And a lot of people don't think that it's true that Drake has an 11-year-old child because he even made like a Instagram story post, and he was like, "A baby girl." He was like, "If you can find her or something." So yeah, but this right here, lethal. Like it's so much insight to this. Like it just came out, y'all. It's been 24 hours now, but yo, it's crazy. And then at the end, he said, "Let me hear you say, oh, ho." I'm like, and this part's so catchy. I've literally seen people do it like, and then he was like, then step this way, step that way, then step this way, step that way. And people are calling that step in the name of hate. I'm like, this is crazy. So with all those diss tracks that I explained, all the ins and out, I'm gonna tell y'all who I feel like is winning, what I feel like is gonna happen, and my advice and what I feel. One, I definitely feel like Kendrick is up because it's just I think it's a combination of the amount of songs that he has released, what he said, and the quality of what the songs are. We know Drake is gonna put out good songs, and we know Kendrick was going to put out good songs. I just don't think people expected Kendrick to do this the way that he did it. This last song is it. Yeah. It's gonna definitely be hard for Drake to compete with this. I really do feel like it. I don't even know what Drake can do. I don't know what Drake can say. I really don't know. Honestly, I don't even know Drake's gonna respond. I think he need to sit down. But then I don't know. And I was like, all I could think about is Drake, get up. Y'all know like that Meek Mill thing that went viral a couple weeks ago. Like, get up, Drake, get up. Cause you was on the floor. And I don't even know what to say anymore. I really don't. I'm just in shock, honestly. Like Kendrick, I'm speechless, y'all. I am speechless. I definitely do feel like Kendrick is up. I feel like Drake needs to come harder. I feel like Drake is gonna have to. I don't know. Him and his team, they're gonna have to get. They're gonna have to dig deeper. They're gonna have to do something because Drake. I mean, Kendrick is up. I don't know what Drake can do to come back this because that song, that last one, "They Not Like Us," is crazy. It's so good. I love it. And then in the midst of this, you got freaking DJ Blad over there. I'm like, what is going on? It's like it's so many side stories that's going on. And then Metro, y'all. Metro released a freaking y'all know when Drake told him to shut up and make some drums. Well, he did that, y'all. He released a mix on his SoundCloud. It's called BBL Drizzy. It's so funny. It's so good. I'm like, he did that. He did just that. And the beats is amazing. So I don't really know, y'all. This is getting messy. I feel like this has gotten really, really personal now. So I don't really know what's gonna happen next. I hope nothing violent happen. Obviously, nobody really wants that. But Drake gotta get up. I don't know if he gonna say something, what he gonna say, but he needs to say something. Because he on the floor. He on the floor. And you could not have told me 2 weeks ago that this was gonna happen. I'm thinking, I don't know. Kendrick didn't release so much music. Drake is behind. Like, and they said he got more. Like, that's the crazy part. You got more? This ain't all? And it's like, I've heard a lot of people say that Kendrick is beating Drake at his own game, and he is. The internet stuff, the calculated things, like, I never thought Kendrick was gonna do this. I really thought that people were gonna be on Drake's side like a lot because it's Drake, but the tides is turning, y'all. A lot of people was with Kendrick, and I'm surprised. And I tried to go in this as unbiased as I can because I do like Drake as an artist. Like I told y'all, I grew up listening to Drake. I grew up listening like my early teenage, all through college, all through high school, most of my middle school years, listening to Drake, to Kendrick, to J. Cole. Like those people are ingrained graded in my mind. And to me, they are the biggest, one of the some of the biggest artists of, I guess, my generation. Us, older Gen Z. I heard somebody call older Gen Z elder Gen Z. I was like, elder Gen Z is a TikTok here. I was like, I've never heard that one. So I'm an elder Gen Z slash millennial, literally a year from being a millennial, but I in my soul I'm a millennial. So us millennials. Um so this is a battle of a lifetime. I don't think we're ever gonna get anything like this ever in life. So we need to enjoy it. I've been so obsessed with this, y'all. This is all I've been wanting to talk about. All I've been into. Like I definitely gotta go on Twitter now, and I'm gonna go on Twitter actually before I get off of here because I'm just like, is anything else gonna happen today? But I'm actually very shocked that it's going like this. Kendrick is definitely up. That last song is crazy. Drake needs to get up, literally get up. He needs to come harder. He needs to focus on on Kendrick and Kendrick only. And I don't know. Some people say that they don't think that he's gonna say anything. I don't know. He better. He can't go out like this. He cannot go out like this. I'm waiting for Joe Budden, y'all, to talk about this because so much has happened since they last filmed. Like, it's crazy. And I'm here for it. I love this stuff. I love this music. Like, I ain't seen nothing like this. Like, I remember when Drake and Meek Mill was going at it, and that was crazy then. But this tops anything I've ever seen in my life musically. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm up on here, yeah. Mm. And people on Twitter saying like the clubs is going up with Kendrick's song. Mm. And it's like, even though Drake's song Family Matters, even though I'm still stuck on the Free the Slaves line, it was good. And people are saying this is the best that Drake has rapped in a very long time. But that is it's so overlooked now because of Kendrick's Meet the Grams and this one. Like, it's not even, people are not thinking about that, worrying about that. People talking about this and people dancing. Now Kendrick got people dancing. The thing that he told Drake to keep doing, he said, "Keep making me dance, wave my hand. We ain't got no problem." Don't play with Kendrick. Don't play with Kendrick. Don't. And I honestly feel like Drake thought that he was going to win this because of his celebrity and because of how big he is, and because he could get the general public on his side, and his fan base is humongous. But it kind of is not going in his favor right now, and I don't even know if it ever will. I honestly, Kendrick is iconic. I'm sorry, it's iconic because from like that to they not like us is crazy. All that in between is crazy. That's why he my favorite artist. I've been on Kendrick. I don't care if y'all think he born or not. That's been one of my favorite songs by Kendrick. Two of my favorite songs are High Power and ADHD. Good Kid, Mad City was a classic. I remember when that came out. Like, I just love Kendrick so much. It's something about Kendrick that I have always just been attracted to musically, that I've always just loved. And I'm glad that he's getting some spotlight and shine because, like I said, people don't be liking Kendrick for some reason. People don't be respecting him for real. So I'm just glad that he's getting this, recognition and everything. But yeah, so far nothing else has been released. If anything releases in the next 2 days, we'll talk about it on episode 14 of the pod. Um, but yeah, all in all, I do think that Drake has done some shicey stuff behind the scenes to people. I feel like his character is on display, not him musically, not what he can do musically, not the hits that he makes, not the money that he has, but his character is on display, and I feel like it's just it comes to territory. Like, your character's in question now. Your character's in display. The things that you do, how did you move, how you move, it's just on display right now. So I mean, I don't know. Drake got to get up and do something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I can definitely say I'm Team Kendrick, but I don't dislike Drake, so I ain't gonna be like, oh, forget him. But I'm very surprised this is going like it's going right now. I don't know. They not like us, y'all. That's the song right there. I'm sorry. I thought Euphoria was amazing. All of them are good, but this last one, it's the best song out of the whole disc between the both of them to me. It's just so fun, but serious, but very much Kendrick coded, but very much poppy. Like it's West Coasty, so it's like so. It's so good, and I love it. I feel like if Drake doesn't respond, I don't think it's gonna hurt his legacy to the point where people think. I definitely think that's gonna make people look at him differently. I think that people already look at him differently. Um, but this is gonna go down in the history books. And if he don't respond, people gonna be like, "You ain't never respond to Kendrick though." So anytime he say anything, anytime he said the N word again, and then he started off feeling mad, y'all. N word came out straight away. He meant that one, girl. He was like, "I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't care what y'all say. I'm gonna say it anyway." So yeah, it's a lot. It's really a lot going on, and we're gonna see how this goes. Definitely Team Kendrick, but I do like Drake, obvious, but Drake would get old. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. If y'all want like a breakdown of all of the songs and the lyrics, just go to YouTube, and there's so many YouTubers that do this for real and break this stuff down. I'm just kind of talking about this stuff on a surface level, but I just want to put my 2 cents in, y'all, and make this a whole dedicated video. This is almost what, an hour and 30. So or almost. Um so yeah, what do y'all think? How do y'all think this week is going? Who do you think is winning? Who do you think will win? How do you think this is going to end? Are you team Drake? Are you team Kendrick? Um And yeah, I'm Team Kendrick for sure. I was Team Kendrick from the get go, to be honest with y'all. I don't care. Win, lose, draw. I was gonna be Team Kendrick. Favorite artist ever. So yeah. So yeah, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely want to hear from you guys what you guys think about all the things. I'm probably gonna touch on this subject again in the next episode, which is my regular episode. And I also have some surprises for you guys. I have some new segments and some new stuff that I'm implementing into the podcast. Also, be on the lookout for the podcast website, which will be coming soon. Like I said, you'll be able to find the visuals, the audio, a blog, and all the other things that I'm going to include on here. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching and listening to me. And Drake, if you hear this, you're probably not, but get up, please. You cannot go out like this. You gotta keep going. I don't know. I don't know. What y'all think? I don't know. I don't know. As always, make sure you guys are following the podcast or subscribe to the podcast on your preferred podcast platform. If you want to look at the visual for this episode, you can tune in to my YouTube channel, which is Zini Price TV. And yeah, I will talk to y'all again in the next episode.